All right, let's do this. Take a little view in case we are not in as full a spot as I am. All right. I'm going to talk about inherit, right? In here, it. You're in here, and you're with it, the devil. That's what inherit means. Uh, do you want to inherit this place? Do you know, what are you trying to give to people? Inheriting is basically, something you don't want to do, because that means you have to come back here and get it. And I mean, there's less than 10 years left, so everyone that signs the trust and follows the two commandments of Jesus Christ, love God is always number one. Number two, love your brothers and sisters. And your brothers or sisters are the ones that are the 7,000 that won't kneel to Baal. The other ones aren't your brothers and sisters. They're not. So if you can follow those two commandments, uh, you don't inherit this place. You don't inherit coming back here. That's not what you have to do. So it's really important. In here, it is in here, and you don't want to be in here. You got to come in here, win the game, and then you don't have to come in here. You have to, travel the whole spiritual journey and not go to heaven, not go to hell. You go to God. You're not trying to do duality again. Am I right? Jay Baba. Look at Dee Dee. Dee Dee's been forced into a lot of progress lately, and who wants to make that? Well, everyone wants to, but the doing of it is awful tough. It's really hard. You have to do what needs to be done or else you stay. It's really hard. Each plate is, you know, that you go up each spot on the spiritual path is like, oh, I made it to here. Yeah, and now you gotta go to the next place. And that's gonna be harder. it's it's very difficult. God takes everything from you. Because what's the process in the end? God has to take your ego, the last thing standing, right? It has to take all your wealth, all your family, all your health. Uh, but if you could hang in there and do the steps, you get it back. Painful, painful doesn't even describe it. I mean, in the end, it's like, well, this place is an illusion. Yeah, but the pain's not an illusion at all. As you go up the spiritual planes, it's how many deaths. You really have to die on each plane, but you take two physical, absolutely physical deaths where your heart stops and your breathing stops, and then you have to re-enter the body sometime later. It's automatic samadhi. It's not one you induce yourself. It's one by your actions that, the Kabbalah, the Dharma is here, God is here, and you reach a certain level and you automatically receive the benefits of it. And you pay in pain. Quite fallen, exactly. That's exactly, yeah, exactly. You know, there's no way to make all the planes in one lifetime except for me, right? You can't do them all in one lifetime. It's impossible. So you've accumulated, up to a certain point. So you'll travel up to that point relatively easy compared to where you have to go from there. If you want to make the rest of the journey there, it's that's where we fell last time. That's where we fell and couldn't get up. We couldn't move past there, and we got death, and we did our best. And this is a many lifetime, uncountable practically lifetime game. It's not can't be one lifetime except for just by me, but everyone else is advancing, and then they fall, and it's like, do you get up? You know, because in each one the devil's like, oh, hey, hear it, uh, no, yeah, you woke up. That's good because we make our choices in this life, and we have to stand by them. Especially if we get married, have children, most of all. If we have children, most of all, we have to do what's best for the children. And that, as our spiritual journey advances, once we find out what that is, it's nothing what we're told. It's the opposite of what we're told. And so it becomes, ridiculously hard. But we have those children to push us onward. We have the reason to do it. Otherwise you wouldn't have a reason, you might give up. So it's really a benefit in that way, that we have the reason to continue, that we want to continue our journey. We have to do it for the children that we have. That's a reason that some people don't have, and they don't advance at all. So it is a blessing. It's just very uh, extremely difficult. There's no words, because uh, we in the beginning of when we're here, it's we're told, oh, you want to get married, you're a man, you want to be with a woman, you're with a woman, you want to be with a man, but that's a false reality. We're who's running this show? Oh, there is a God. Well, hey, take me home there. So, but we make our choices along the way. If we get married, if we have children, and we have to stand by them righteously, which is one thing to say and another thing to do it, because the partner who you chose never makes the journey. They never do it, not all the way. They never make the journey with you. So and the children, how can they? They're children. So we're given certain ones that are maybe easy and certain ones that are hard, but they're not our children in the end. They're God's children, and so, oh my, God has given me children. I have to watch over them like they were God. In India, they say guest is God, and the children are guests. You're hosting your guests, and guest is God, and the little ones are the innocent ones, and that's the ones we have to look over. It's so hard, but what's the alternative, right? Inherit. You inherit. You're like, no. So we do the things that are hard to do. It's really, you know, uh, what is, I think Mayor Obama says something like the perfect masters have a heart as hard as steel and as soft as warm butter. So, it for those it doesn't matter, it's like more butter, whatever, hey, I don't, you're not serious with them. How many children was I given? Two. uh I raised them, and got to a certain age, I think it was like 7 and 9 or something like that, and my wife at that time, I had built an earthship by hand out in New Mexico. I mean, from scratch, not by hand, power tools and all. But it set up a life out there, and the wife was like, "Oh, hey, things are a certain way. Maybe one day a week I can work." And she starts working at the Taos Inn, and she, soon starts having sex with someone, and so destroyed the marriage. And then off she went for a year. Hardly ever heard from her at all. She went and lived with some guy or guys or what, I don't even know. End up with one dude. And finally, I was patient because I tried to do my best, and then I was like, no, I'm following for paperwork. I'm watching these children all day. I have to bring them to the job site. I'm working, building another Earthship at the time for someone else, and other projects I was building. And, I had to bring them with me, or, at certain times, and they were in, like, daycare, like this, Montessori, like, home with this German, did I say Montessori? I didn't mean Montessori. The other one, the German one. Anyway, she's from Germany and trained, and they ended up staying there with her child, and they were just a very small group there. And so I'm watching over these children, and I was like, she's off with some other dude. Like, this is the right thing to teach my children. So, uh, I do the paperwork and file for divorce, and then she just tells her friends, "Hey, tell everyone that I was with the children." And she goes into court and lies. And this is the way the court system is in America. Men don't get children. Period. Doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter anything. Nothing matters. Women get the children unless they're like in jail, that they maybe don't get the children. But otherwise, always women get the children. And if you look at the statistics, men raise the children better. Like, women are much more likely to murder children, and to have horrible outcomes with children. Statistics are just like, single mothers is the worst way to go for children. It's absolutely the worst. Just by general statistics, it's a horror. So, you know, they do it on purpose to ruin children. So, I just fell apart after that. In some ways, I went back east, and eventually my children moved with me because they didn't want to be with their mother. And so I nicely, the mother was, oh, I want to be around my children. I helped her move back so she could be near the children. She was 2 blocks away. And all she did was, my friends were like, you know, she got there and she did move with her guy. And there was some doctor I knew. And I made a joke. I was like, he's wealthy, you're evil. So he'd be perfect for you. She went right after him, kicked out the wife, and you moved in with him. Not kidding. And my friends all came to me, one by one. Is like, you're like, they were all like, "Why'd you divorce her?" and stuff. And then a couple months later, they were like, "Dude, your ex is evil, man. Get her out of here." I was like, "I'm trying to tell you that before. You didn't listen, and now you're telling me what?" Anyway, she died. Eternal life is real, and she died. But she actually, she didn't have that much money either. It talked my family into paying for her side of the divorce and beating me and winning. And then they supported her. Some of my family supported her over the years, and just made it so my children got hoodwinked and stolen from me. They don't even speak to me anymore. 2 children, Gene. And now they don't speak to me because my family don't speak to me. They're all evil. They all lie about me. And so did my ex and so on. They're just terrible, you know? Terrible, terrible people. The worst. I did my best, but you know, uh, I'm up against unlimited money. Like, my family has a bunch of money, and I didn't. I ended up homeless and stuff. They didn't really support me. They supported her and those children, not me. And, I'm horrible, and they're great. Well, she's dead. They don't even have a parent now, and it's just, you know, what can I say? My family hates my guts. It's the way they are. Still, I don't hear from them. In fact, the last time I heard from my mom was about 6 months ago, and she was like, her best friend, some woman, died, and like, her partner over time, she was never with a man after like, popped it out of the ether, right? And 1969, life started. My father didn't stay with her hardly at all after that. And just he just didn't get this wealthy family. His backstory was he was poor. Really interesting guy, very spiritual. I was lucky to have him as a, someone to point me in the spiritual direction, but not my family. They were all Catholic and evil. Never saw a Bible growing up, never once. Uh, Never even heard about it, nothing like that. They're Catholic. They just sit there and then they leave. And so, you know, that's the way I was brought up. Last time spoke to my mom, though, her partner, her best friend died, and this woman, and she was like, "Oh, there's so many people that came, and I wasn't invited," and she calls me and tells me all this. And I was like, "Look, hey, mom, you know what? No one in my family calls me." I tell her, I said, "And so when you die, I'm not gonna find out. So I'm just gonna tell you bye right now." And she don't call me no more or anything. So I just told her goodbye later for you. I know she's not my mom. I put her in in a body, in a like 8-year-old body, and she never really. I never got like a hug from her that I can remember ever, really, you know? So it's like I hugged her some, but she never hugged me. Like I just wasn't her child as she acted like it's and still does. Uh, and they got the inheritance. They got a bunch of money dropped down from them from the stories of whatever. The upper generation having money, and they all have money and houses, and they all live in Chevy Chase, Maryland, right outside of DC. They all got the money and the beach houses and money, money, money. So that's what they got. They inherited. But that's a good question, Dee Dee. The only want was to keep going and got it. It came out wrong. But that always happens. We want to be with God, and we want to leave this world behind, but we've made choices and we have to own up to them. And so we can't do it properly unless someone, you're following a spiritual master who is actually one, and they're going to be willing to tell you what you need to do. Otherwise, we just don't care about the things in this world anymore. We want to go to God. It's not your fault, Dee Dee. It's a natural reaction as you go up the plains, but we have to come back into the body and like we have to handle stuff here. Uh, we have to do our best, and that's what we have to do. I don't have any family in my household. There's a woman, but you know she don't listen. But uh, basically, not I have to say it months or years, and then the fairies fill her in by story. Magnificent indeed. Gene, Jack, you said that children didn't want to stay with their mothers, so they moved there. You were where you were. Yeah, they were at New Mexico, and I moved back to North Carolina. But you helped your wife or ex-wife move 2 blocks. Yeah, because I care about my children, and I was like, they need a mother and a father. You know, uh, but their mother was evil, and never turned and always lied and just did more and more evil. So, yeah, in retrospect, I was, but I was doing the best I could. I didn't have any spiritual guide then. I just had my heart. And I was like, well, if I was a child, I would love my mother and father. And so I did my best to, she was X amount of distance away. I let her move back for like 2 months in my home. I gave her, gave her a bedroom and like, okay, you got to find your own place. And she did, but then she got evil. So yeah. Dee Dee, they just sit there and then they leave. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. The Catholics, yeah, I never saw a Bible. They would talk about this book, but never. You never go into a. You can't find a Bible in a Catholic church. Period. There's no. Every time I go in a Catholic church, I'm always like, "Is there a Bible here?" No, never, never. They have a catechism. What What is that? So funny. Uh, Jay, my dad worked in Chevy Chase. He was an accountant. Ah, that's funny, huh? Maybe he was the count for some of my crew. I don't know, Not funny. Uh but my crew didn't really work. They invested in things and stuff like that, but they didn't really work. None of them had jobs or nothing like that. The next generation, like mine, did. Like the guys in my generation, two of them are teachers at. Can you imagine? And yeah, that's it. Two of them are teachers. The rest, I don't know what they're up to. It's been a while since I've been there. You got a friend who did a DNA check or something and found out his mom was not related. He told her and she started crying. Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's kind of the same way, you know? But maybe that woman actually, cared for them. Like, probably that child came out of her. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I don't know, but I guess not. If the DNA check didn't work, I guess not. Eh? So, but yeah, no, it wasn't. I'm not treated like a part of family. It's like, you know, me. I went through so much difficulty. You know what I mean? Being homeless and finding out this stuff and beating the banks and having proof. You know what I mean? Like, my family still mattered to me. My children. Uh, my children mattered to me. You know what I mean? So um, I still was trying to get them the best life because they would be with the rest of my family, but not with me. My family's just like he's crazy, he's blah blah, all the evil stuff they could say, you know. So, but it still mattered to me that oh, I fully understand, my family or anything like I do now, but I was like, no, here's all the proof, and I beat them. I went to court. I did all this stuff. Look what happened. Look what I found out. They don't want to know. They don't want to know. They just absolutely, we hate you. You're crazy. That's it. End of. There's nothing else to discuss. They're, intellectuals or whatever, been to graduate school and they're so smart. My brother been to Harvard. That's where he got his graduate degree. Just absolutely evil and stupid, Never does anything but teach, teach, never done anything, you know? It's just so they are so evil. They really are. They don't understand anything about spirituality, nothing about God. It's just but it took me a while to learn all that. And so I was always, it's like I didn't go off the deep end or nothing like that when I was out in New Mexico. I was like caring for my children. I never drank alcohol. I never smoked weed. I never did any kind of drug or anything like that. When my children were like children, I never did it once. I took my job extremely seriously raising children, this is how I got paid back for it. I mean, uh, I don't know this to be a fact, but I mean, this story was, oh, I molested my children and stuff. I mean, it's just, I heard that from, someone once, I can't remember where, but yeah, you never heard Jesus in my house. No, a Catholic would never say Jesus Christ, never talk about God, never. You have to go to church. You have to go. It's like, okay, but no principles, nothing, like no spiritual teaching, no discussion of anything really spiritual or anything. Just you're supposed to go to church. In fact, when I was really down, I had nothing. And then when I hit fourth plate, I was in my mother's house and had nothing. I was going to church with her every week. I remember walking out of there one time and I had went to the fourth plate and I would come out of there like, hey, what happened, and this and the priest was from India, and I was like, I went into samadhi, like what do I do, you know what I mean? And he just looked at me. He had no response at all. No response, period. No response at all. Never went to church. Well, no, and the rest of my family, they don't go to church except for maybe Christmas. They go to church, because they get the church all done up. And but my mom went every week, and that was her entire spiritual anything. It's nothing but that. Church on Sunday and TV the entire rest of the week, and really travel, do some vacations with her family, and she volunteers in the soup kitchen half a day a week. That's her entire life, for her entire adult life. Nothing else. Nothing. She got some volunteer award. That's all. And this is like, oh, you're so great, and you know, I don't, everybody looks up to her house because it's up on a giant hill on a cliff overlooking the Chesapeake Bay. Everyone has to look up at her like, and it's, it used to be this cute old bungalow, just not big enough, and she just raised that to the ground and made the ugliest structure possible. Uh, Horrible. Inherited that place, never paid for real estate, had millions of dollars, I guess still does. When I lost everything, I couldn't stay in her 9 bedroom, 3 kitchen, 5 bath house, even though there were two separate apartments from her. Because as she said, I don't believe it, but she was like, "I'm down to my last million." It's like you hardly have any bills. You don't pay for real estate or nothing. Crazy. My grandfather, yeah, that was where my grandfather lived, in that house. So my other grandfather, like my father's grandfather, he was 2 houses away from that. So talk about a lot of family in one location. Uh, Crazy. But my father's side, they all moved. Someone went out to California and they left to Florida. They just didn't want to be around, my mother's family. They're all rich. I remember I was hanging out with my friends. I was young, you know what I mean? And so I was living in Chevy Chase, and I go stay at my grandparents' house during the summer. And it was on the Chesapeake Bay, yeah. But there were a lot of local kids that lived there too that didn't go to this city. They were just in the country there. That's where they lived. And I remember this one dude who killed himself when he was like 16, right about this time. Uh, he told me, "Oh, my mom went to school briefly with your mother." And I asked him, I was like, "Well, what does she say about my mom?" And he said, my mom says your mother's a stuck-up bitch." I was like, "That's super accurate." Yeah, that's her. It's so funny. I was like 12 or 13. I heard that. I was like, "Yeah, hey, Ronnie, you're right, man." That's so true. She has an advanced. She's like a child. She's just like a child and always has been like a child. Like not just a, she has money, so she's better than everyone, but, unable to carry on conversations about real stuff, like can talk about football or children or traveling or things that sort of don't have any meaning, like a meal or something like that, but can't discuss like anything real like that. That's not happening. That's just the way they are. Is maybe kind of, realize that just not, you know, I don't know. They have these, they have just a very short little personality or something. Like it's not like human. It's something. They're completely heartless. They only care about money. Like when my grandfather died, he left some money. My grandmother's died, she had some more. I remember sitting in the hospital, and they had already cut out her small intestines, and she was hanging on ish, you know, and the accountant's there with the elders of my family, and I was like, I said, "What are you doing?" And they changed the will. She had her intestines cut out of her. She's barely there. You know what I'm saying? And oh, we changed the will and stuff. Basically, I was told, see if she gave that much to the next generation down, i.e. me, there would have been tax consequences and that would have worked out. So they just told me to my face in the hospital, "Hey, we just disinherited you a whole bunch of money, dude." What? On her deathbed. And she was literally the sweetest woman I've ever met in my life. To this point, she was so. Every time her grandchildren would show up, and I mean every time, she'd be down on her knees immediately, like, "Hey, what's going on?" You know what I mean? Every time, she don't care what she's doing, nothing like that. She'd start messing around with the little ones. That's all she did. That's all she cared about. She was so sweet, always happy. I mean, she was like, night and day from her daughters and stuff who were just evil. She had two daughters. One of them was nicknamed Frankie. That was her name. After Frankenstein. I'm not kidding. I was like, how did they have Frankie? It's like, after Frankenstein. I was like, what's that? What? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what? That was my godmother. Frankenstein was my godmother. Just absolutely, really, it's amazing. It was heart wrenching for a long time. And Thanksgiving this time of year used to be really difficult. Christmas, holidays, they were all into that crap. Uh, yep, and we're the opposite, right? We only talk about real things. It's so freaky. I know. You know, thank God, I moved along. God had to do some pretty crazy stuff, taking away children and everything I had and all that kind of stuff to get me here. Like, really had to do some things that I don't really talk about much, because it was so difficult. Because here I am, I try to have a heart, try to care after my children, not thinking everybody as evil as can be, don't know they're all fronting, and they're just totally care about money and nothing else. Got a call from my sister. No, I had a call from my mother, like a year or two ago, say, so I don't know exactly. And my mom's like, oh, your sister wants to say something. She gets on the phone and says, oh, your wife borrowed $1,000 from me, and are you going to pay it back or what? No, hello. It had been, at that point, it had been more than 5 years since I'd spoken to her. More than 5 years. I don't know if it's more than 8 years. I don't really totally remember exactly, but or more than 10 years. Maybe maybe, yeah. Oh my God, it was more than 10 years since I had spoken to her, and that's the only thing she said. You know what my response was? I said, lending money is evil. I said, you should give. You should never lend. Lending money is evil. And I say, you're going to go to hell for it. Click. My family avoids me. I still had a heart and I still cared. Like, I had a really big family. There's a whole nother generation with, little, smaller children and stuff who I all got along with. And I had cousins too, some in particular I totally got along with, like one especially who's like, fuck my family and moved to Vermont, basically. And, I thought I'd hear from him sometime and I never did. Because they know if they contact me, they're out of the family, 100%. So, you know, no one contacts me, like, ever. Uh, and my brother marries, you know, like, here's my grandparents' house, and here's my other grandparents. There's a house in the middle. No, I'm sorry. Well, the house in the middle was my cousins, but my grandparents on my father's side, they move. This other family moves in. My brother ends up marrying the the you know their daughter, and so she literally lives one house away from where she was born now, in a house I bought, and I sold it to get away from there. I sold it to my brother, and she lives one house from her mother, and uh, three houses from her mother-in-law. It's and my brother's the same way. It's crazy. Uh, how they don't have a heart. They just don't, and yet they have children and all this stuff, and they matter and all that stuff. But I can't have a difficult conversation about any part of reality. That's not possible. It's just, let's just reject the whole thing. I reject him. remember I had a cousin when I was really young, and he killed himself, and I just kind of didn't understand why. He was really I didn't meet him that often, but he was a little bit older than me, and he killed himself in his early teens, you know, and uh, I understand why. You know what I mean? Like, cause when I lost everything, but my mother said to me is like, you can't exist without money. That's what she told me. As soon as she found out all that, you know, you should kill yourself. In one way to say it, right? Hey Mike, how you doing, man? So, you know, this is about inherit. In here, it. In here, you get it. Or, you know, if you want to get money and come back, like it's all set up. You'll be in this house and that house, and this will be the situation, and you'll have millions and a house, and everything's figured out. Nobody's going to ostracize you. Just go along, get along, you know, follow the script, and everything is money, money, money. No problemo, you know? That's the way it is. So, and yeah, I mean, so much evil. Like I should just go on and on. Like, you know, my godmother. I found out later. I had some inheritance too, but then I found out later from my sister, who sometimes talked to me when I was older. Said one thing to me was like, she's like, "Oh, I got this much money. I got my payout," and she was like, "It was this much," and I was like, "What?" That's like 5 times what I got. I was like, "What?" It's like, "You got how much money?" So my godmother just totally stole my money. You know what I mean? Like, and she had millions and millions of dollars, and married, you know, a surgeon who just never was home and worked all the time and made plenty of money. So they had plenty of money. She had, all she had was money, and she still stole my money. Not all of it, but you know, a large portion of it. Here's your check. Oh, thanks. And but what? You know, is crazy. Just reprehensible. Uh, you know, I didn't I haven't really talked about this before, but you know, I was walking on the beach today, and it's not that warm. We're kind of having a cooler day here, and I just wait for the Holy Spirit to, you know, give me the title of the video. It was like, and what I was doing was we're walking down the beach, and there's hardly anyone on that beach in front of the super expensive houses, but there was a younger family there with 2 young daughters, and I look up and, you know, it's one of them $1 zillion houses, and I looked and I was like, "Oh, this is next generation down," you know what I mean? They're visiting for the holidays, and that's what it was like, video, I hear it. I was like, "Oh," and it was like, "I hear it." You know, that's the way I heard it, "I hear it." When I looked at this young family, I was like, "Oh, yeah, I get it. I get it now." It's really oh, hey, I saw a really you wanna watch this on, Amazon Video. I watched it yesterday, it's called Rapture. It's really good. It's like 80s, you know what I mean? Or 90s or something, so is it uh, some of it looks like, you know, basic or whatever, but it's so good. It's about Judgment Day, literally. Gotta watch it. It's so good. Everybody gets zapped by lightning bolts and just turns into a rock. It's like go up to it. You know, it's like that's a rock. That's like a rock. It's like lightning bolt, rock. And it's smoke. Psh, like it turns them into lava. Like we're made of earth. You see what I'm saying? It turns them into a rock. And it's, you know, these clouds are everywhere. It's just lightning bolt. Everyone dying in the street. And there's a couple people in it that sort of don't die at the end, and they end up going into a church. One of them has a Bible and starts praying for people, but some of them don't listen. And God takes patience on this one dude who comes back to the church, and you know, the food goes bad. You can't eat food. You can't drink water. Uh, People act crazy. They start killing each other. It's good. The Rapture, yeah, 1991. Yeah. That's what I said, 90s, right? Yeah, I think you like it. Uh, People are always like, "What's Judgment Day going to be like?" You should watch this. The angels are in it and stuff. Uh, they're all running from the angels, trying to hide in a culvert and in the bushes, and they're all, the cars quit working, watches stop, everything that's mechanical or electronic just stops, all of it at 1 second, and all the food and all the water goes bad. Click. Everybody starts to get these sores. It's not hit by a lightning bolt, and these angels are just walking around, basically looking who to kill. It's really interesting. It really is. Yeah, it's quite a day. It's gonna be quite a day. And that's, when I was sitting in jail and nobody would get me out of there because I had like, I don't know, a gram of marijuana on me, something like that. I got put in jail and no one would get me out. They were finally like, "See, we told you." Never been in jail, never had any problem with the cops. I was like 50. Told you. Nobody would get me out. You know what I mean? And I'm in there. I finally prayed to God and I was like, "Okay, God, if you get me out of here, I'll do anything you say." As soon as I prayed that, this bird come to, not a window because it was just this opaque plastic you couldn't see out of. It came to my window flapping. I was like, "Okay." It left me in there for 5 more weeks. And then one day I woke up and there's a bird flapping again and I got out of there. By a girlfriend, a guy that I met inside this giant, that I was nice to. I read a book. I wrote a book while I was in there, and I read it to him every day. And he enjoyed it so much, he got his girlfriend to bail me out. That's how I got out of jail, not by anybody I knew prior to that. Talk about God stepping in. Amazing. But that's what I said. I said I'll do anything. And at the time I said, I have one request. It's not, I'm sitting there in jail. This isn't just get me out of here. I'll do whatever you say. And then I said, but I have one request on my end. I want to see him get theirs. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want. That's the only thing. Like, I'm not evil. You know what I mean? Like, I said, I just want to see when they get theirs. And here I am. God's like, "Hey, no problem." I'm like, "Tell you all about it." Oh my God, what a thing to say, I end up in this position for making that deal with God. Crazy. Yeah, I'm the crazy one, all right. I had this, well, anyway, that's to hear it. I had this, one application recently for, somebody to go to the Bible Center, and do the pilgrimage. And I had a feeling it's one of them that I never met. All right, Dee Dee, I know you're going through a lot, and I know, this family stuff is difficult, and the reason I said that is not for me. I know you're having a difficult time, and I know others have a difficult time with this situation, and I just wanted to be open about it and stuff like that. So, uh, anyway, I got this submission, for application for a pilgrimage. Yeah, you helped it, Gus. Yeah, good. Good. I'm glad, Dee Dee. It ain't easy. Bedazzled. Yeah, okay, I'll look at that, Jay. But the Rapture, yeah, if you haven't seen it, it's really, because they're all running away from the angels. Me, I'd be like, "You made it!" I'd be running at them. Hey! How, everyone else is dying and everyone's scared. I'd be like, where you? There's some creatures, where are they? I'd be running towards them. Ah, my homies. Yeah, the application, Dee Dee, exactly. So I get this application, uh, too clever. You know what I'm saying? The application was too clever and too empty of who they were. At the right age, looking like the right age with dark hair and, just I recognize you before I know who you are. I know who you are. Because I told you the devil will be there, did I? I told you. And so I get this application, and it was like, said, I've been to Baba Center 3 times, and it asked, what's the point of the pilgrimage? I said, the point of the pilgrimage is you meet with God, you know? That was the point of the pilgrimage. And I got a response, well, what do you expect to get out of the pilgrimage? And I wrote back honestly, I was like, well, I expect to send everyone to hell, basically. That's my job, is I come with a sword and I send everyone to hell except for the people that are going on pilgrimage, you know? But the people there, I expect them to uh, go to hell, get sent to hell for denying that I'm the prophet. That's why I'm going. You know, I don't like the way they treat me and the way they treat other people. And they got their little country club. They're supposed to let people in that want to be with God. They're not supposed to be like, oh, because I know what they ask everyone. How did you come to Baba? What year? Who told you? Blah blah blah. Only thing they care about, the only thing they don't ask past that. Like, you know, oh, where are you on your spiritual journey? They don't ask a single other question past that opening question, not ever. They want to hear your lineage, you know what I mean? Like, before you could come to the country club, you know, that they have, and they don't let people at. I remember being there one time when I was homeless, living in my car, right? My, you know, Geo Metro. It was February, you know, and there were only 2 people on the center. It was me and a much younger guy, and he was living out of his vehicle too. And I woke up uh, that day, and my car had, you know, it had been a what is it called, like freezing rain, and my car was just not another soul. The weather was like crazy. We were just trying to get warm. We were trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? And I knew someone there from my perfect master, you know, that taught me, my guru. He introduced me to someone who ended up, who's, if she's still alive, she's one of the people that works in the office there. And I went to her and I said, hey, I appreciate if I could stay longer. You know, I'm living in my car, and you know, it's freezing, you know, can I stay longer? And she put in a good word for me, and I got another week. And this guy who was there, it's just me and him, like cooking in the kitchen, proof too. He's like, you got approved? He said, they denied me. I have to leave. I was like, there's no one here. Even to think of it now, too. So it's so bad. You know what I'm saying? To be homeless, and then this place is for God, and there's no one there. And it turned this guy away. You know, it was so reprehensible, so evil. It's, I don't even cry for my family, you know, but it was just, you know, where you'd have nothing, you know, and you try to stay warm, and like, and they kick them right on the street, you know. Oh my God, you know, that's the Baba Center. You know, they go to, but God is there. You know, it's just them. They just uh. Let's see what you said. Yeah, the devil is gonna pop up. Yeah, I didn't tell you. Spooky True, they locked us in a pay shed at night for over 45 minutes. That's, I got there late and they did a tour. I didn't see anything. What? They hate the humans. They really hate the humans. You know what I'm saying? They really, and see, and this is every single one of them that I've ever spoken with and stuff like that. Uh, except for one dude, Mark Carr. I'm there. He's blind. By the way, he is so funny. Only the blind man who's there sees the truth. Literally. There's a one blind guy there, and he's the only one that sees the truth. Anyway, he's asked from other people, like, I've gone there and heard, where's Jack? Where's Jack? So I'm gonna try and meet with him if I can. So that's keeps asking about me. If he's much older than me, and never had great health, and so I don't even know if he's alive still. But if he is, I'm trying to see him if he's there. But yeah, so the application that I get an email back, and it says, well, what are you expected to do while you go there? I was like, I wrote it out, I'm the prophet, I'm the God man, that's what my guru told me one day too. He's like, you're God. He's so funny. Oh, you're God man now. I was like, what? Oh, you know, what he says is true. I got to go there and get denied. Everyone has to deny who I am, so they got to go to, you know. I said the wages of sin are death. They don't make it to Judgment Day, and so God's going to kill them. That's why I'm going there, so God kills them all. That's why I'm going. I'm also going for the pilgrims that are going. I said I'm going for both reasons. I ain't heard back from him. And I said, oh yeah, I finished it off by saying, I said, I told everyone the devil would be there. And I said, and then my last sentence was, I know who everyone is. J Mama. The guy was saying to you, battery first flashlights. Yeah, they're. But you see, they're required. They have to do. They got as much free will as they got. So whatever they do is what they do, and so it ain't ego to say I'm the God man to them. No, it's you gonna get what you earned. That's why I say it. So you say I am or you say I'm not. Which one? I remember I'm at tea one day. Oh, this is like my first time there. When I was homeless, I go to tea there, and I'm having tea, and they're giving out tea at the Mama Center. It's a certain time every day, and everyone that lives there comes there and gathers and talks and stuff like that. And there's this one older woman. She had the question for me: how did you come to Mama? I said, well, I got taken by the perfect master here one day, and that's how I got here. And she's like, oh, how did it go exactly? It was so funny. It's so funny because I'm just sitting under a tree there drinking tea, and she says, oh, so how do you feel about oh, this is what it was. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And she said, no, oh God, it made me remember the whole thing. God, it's so, thank you. She said, are you a Baba lover? Because that's their question, because they ask, I'm sorry, they ask two questions. I'm wrong. They say, are you a Baba lover? Then they say, how do you come to Baba? They always ask the first one, are you a Baba lover? And I answered, I love everyone, not just Spare Baba. And she said, no, you don't. I said, I beg your pardon? And she said, no, you don't love everyone. Everyone's trying to love everyone. You don't love everyone. I said, oh, okay. Creepy. and so later that day after tea, right? The the night watchman, the dude, like, comes up to me and he says, we had a complaint about you. I said, you did, huh? Yeah, apparently you got into it with some woman. I was like, I beg your pardon? And she says something about, I said I spoke to one woman, and she asked, I said exactly what I said to you. And the guy heard what I said and starts bending over laughing his head off. He's like, what? And then he starts telling me, he said, you know what, in the 70s, he said, he said, we got a whole, he said, we got a bunch of rules though. He said, back in the 70s, everyone was dosing on acid and living in all these cabins and having sex with everyone. That's what he told me. The one night watchman told me that. He said, that was the 70s here. I was like, he laughed his head off at us. Like, he's like, dude, sorry, never. He's like, keep doing your thing. He's like, you're good. Yeah, that was my first massive complaint about me. I'm not kidding. Oh my god. Yeah, the blind guy sees the truth. Mark, it's easy to spot. He has this younger woman that totally devoted to him, in that she is silent pretty much, and helps him around and gets him tea and sits right next to him the whole time, doesn't say anything, like a young, you know, uh, you know, young woman, and she's fairly attractive and stuff. Never wears makeup, never, super modest, super silent, and only focused on helping this one guy, who's, in my opinion, well, let's just say it, perfect master. So that's what I say. Uh, I said the name of when the game. Yeah, dude, you got your trust up in Jesus Christ trust. Say that right, William? Williams. Yes, you did great, man. You're the only one that took my directions super seriously on naming a trust. I was like, you should take a trust name, like, if you're gonna go the way like a religious trust. When I say Christ or Christian and or something like that, 3 words, last name trust. What? Jesus Christ trust. Everybody else is like, oh, you know what I mean? And this guy hits the nail on the head. Boing! Jesus Christ trust. I already made one, but no one else had made another, so they didn't deny you on the EIN. So I like William Rios for the long haul. After that, he solved that riddle. Yeah, put a riddle out there, see who's going to solve it, and this guy solved it. Yeah, no, I'm serious. That's what the night watchman told me after I told him the story. So funny. Yeah, but now they're all uptight and they forget their past. It's the same people there, by the way. The same ones that all slept with each other, so they're still there. But that's the way it was in the 70s. Same crew. Right? Alan's got appreciation for that one. Me too, man. Way to go, William. Just got a sign and everything. I mean, say the name, win the game. That's what I say, right? Like, that's all we have is this guy. He's running the show. He's coming on a particular date. My brother's coming, and that's it. Everything else that everybody say is going on, they actually know. They just don't want to hear about it. They know. I don't know why this life matters to them so much when they know what's coming. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it, So those people going on a pilgrimage, a little backstory for you. Don't say my name to any of them. I told everybody this. So when you're on pilgrimage, never say my name. Never, ever, ever say my name. Because what? I don't have no ego in this game. You're supposed to have, your time with God, period. Nothing to do with me and nothing. No, they don't want. I'm there to just swing the sword. That's It's like Game of Thrones, right? If you make the judgment, you swing the sword. That's right. Hey, I know what sword I'm swinging, so I know. Hey, you deny a prophet, off you go. Headless one, off to hell you go. That's it. You earned it. And you done it. I saw you what you do to people. I see how you treat me, and I see how you treat the homeless, and you have the perfect location. How many homeless even know to come there? One dude and me. That's it. You can't have him there. And I mean, nobody's there the rest of the month or nobody. I couldn't stay either, but I got an extra week. But then the place is empty. And that's cool with you, is throwing us onto the street. That's them. What do you think, Dee? I was like, oh, this application I'm going to approve. Yeah, come on. He's don't think he can make it. I was like, he's going to try and make the next one. I was like, there won't be a next one. This is the only one. I ain't heard back from him. No, I didn't deny the devil. Christian, I told you he's coming. So of course you filled out. Okay, who do you think the devil works for? I told him to come. He's coming. He might not be in that body, but that was the way he let me know, hey, I'm coming, and so is everyone with me. Okay? Bring your worst. Because God, you think that God can make a pilgrimage location and it not be housed by every creature of the devil is there? That's who's there. If you want to get to God, you got to go through the devil. Come on. Reality. Where would you be if you're the devil? You see what I'm saying? Where would you post all your evil ones? Right next to God. Who's coming to God? Oh, well, hey, easy does it. Right? Come on. Yeah. Yeah, you will see. That's the point. Honestly, the biggest blessing I ever had was sitting next to the devil at Chase Bank and thinking that this whole thing was real. Because it's one thing for, oh, I had all these experiences, but when you're sitting there and time gets paused and you get your offer, that's the biggest blessing I could give anyone, is try and make that happen. Come on. Like, oh, all this stuff is real and all that stuff. Yeah. Boy, it's a whole nother thing when you sit next to that creature. Whole nother thing. You're like, because then no other thought enters your mind out for the rest of your life. What? That's what I want. Only God enters you so they could actually start advancing up the spiritual planes. Because, the devil's real and you don't want the devil. Okay, well, that's great. He'll be there. The letter writer. I said, oh, the devil will be here. The words just come out of my mouth when I'm telling everybody on pilgrimage, hey, the devil will be here. Which is true. And all this little, minions that run this place will be there. The heartless ones will be there. But the compassionate one is there, too. You go to his bed. It's worth going through every single one of them to get to God. That's what we have to do. How fair would it be if you didn't have to go through the devil and everything? Like, everyone has to do that. I had to do it. You have to do it. Like, you want to win this game and get to the other side, and someone didn't do that? Like, you want to get to the other side and somebody squeak through and you got to deal with one of them? No way. No way. The whole point is to get away from this whole thing and them. That's the point of this game, is to get away from these creatures. And so you got to win it for real. You have to be like, I mean, of course you're going to say no. If I already set you up and told you everything, and you're still listening to me, your life's been freaking destroyed in so many ways. Your consciousness of reality and so many things has been destroyed. With this world. So end game is the devil got to show up. Hey, just final, door number 3 is everything you want. And since I know you, this is what, how about this? Like, I'm 3rd generation real estate developer, right? Devil come to me, hey, almost $500 million in all the real estate. How about you want all the real estate here, and I'll start you off at almost 500 million? What do you say? I say no. I say no. So when I talk about my family and stuff, I had to be thrown out of it. I had to be ejected from it. I have to win this game in one lifetime and early in the lifetime. Then I have to do 7 years incubating, germinating, or whatever, come out the other side and be able to help people for 10 years. Who could do that? You see what I'm saying? I have to be here for you the last time. Like, can you imagine how much evil crap has to happen to me? A lot. The same it has to happen to everyone, you and everyone, if you're going to win this game. So they're forgiven. My family's forgiven. Don't take it like, you know, I don't know why they did it. I know why they did it. And without them doing it, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't come to God. So they're forgiven. Everyone's forgiven. I don't, I'll have any tears for them. They stole my children. It hurt for a long time. It still hurts. It's like, not like there's no pain there, but question regarding the loop. Were the days shortened during Jesus Christ's time? After. No, go look at Rado Gailey's, look up Rado Gailey Tower painting Bear Baba. Google that. And then you see the painting, right? Each age, like it's a tower, like tower, it's not like the Leaning Tower of Pisa where everything is a symmetrical, cylinder like that. No, it's like a tower, it goes like this. You see what I'm saying? And Baba's at the top. And so each one of the ages down here is longer. You see? And then it gets slightly shorter, slightly shorter, slightly shorter. We're in the top one. We're in the Kali Yuga, they call it. We're in the last one before the reset. That's what I come. You know, I'm not like Jesus. I'm different. And it's 64. And so, you know, I come full on, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like I I don't take no prisoners. Like I'm at it. I fall down, I get up, and I keep running at them. I don't stop. I don't. What was my prayer? Even though I've been through so much, I realize this thing's got to keep, going to keep going until I beat it. So that's when my prayer became more faster. Like I just pictured lining them up, and I would just knock them down. I just picture me fucking right to the jaw, baby, and down you go. Who's next? And that's it. That's just the way I pictured it. That's the way they did it. Faster, 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 faster. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. If I got to do 1,000,000 rounds, let's get started up in here. So they were longer. And I asked my guru once, I was like, the perfect master with a key up in here. I asked him once, I say, so look, man, how many years am I going to get, screwed over up in here? Look at, it never ends. Like, what's going on? I said, this guy Jesus, he pops in here, he gets whipped, and in a couple of days he gets put on a cross and he dies. I was like, dude, what? His response was, oh, it was much easier back then. That's my take on Jesus. Nothing to take away from him or nothing. He's the one. He has way more heart than I do. You see, he's got the ultimate heart. He's infinity times infinity compassion. He doesn't have the same compassion that I have in the same way. He has it's yeah. And I'm a failure compared to Jesus Christ. I'm the one that falls down. He never sinned. I sinned. I lived the life of someone here. I fell down. I got up. I fell down. I got up. And just like everyone has to in here that wants to make it out. If I come in and live, oh look, he didn't do anything wrong. How does that connect with you all or anyone? How's that? No. How's that me being in any way, shape, or form, in any way, like, how do I resonate with that guy? He did this, and, you can't see yourself doing that. No, this game is played like this. You fall down and get up, and fall down and get up. Fall down, they push you down. You see what I'm saying? They push you down and you get up. They push you down and you get up. They push you down and you get up. Yeah, the Bible words it kind of odd. It does, but that's all it says about it. You know what I'm saying? Who's the one that can pluck those words out of the Bible? Only me. God shortened the days. You know, I mean, the Holy Spirit put it in here. I'm not saying I'm just a repository for God acting through me. I'm not. I don't have no ego in it. I'm just saying we got to use pronouns in here just make it understandable in sentences and crap. But I don't have any ego in the game. I'm just like, God shortened the days. That's why I tell them when I go up on the Christians, hey, we're in a 64-year time loop of the prophet. They don't look it up. Oh, where's that in the book? I say, God shortened the days. They'll say another word. Where's your comeback, mouthy? And they don't change their ways. God shortened the days. You say he didn't shorten the days, he shortened the days. I never realized who that individual is now more than ever. I don't know who you mean. What should, oh, he's it. Oh, yeah. It. Inherit. In. Here. It. It is running this place. It. The devil. It. In. Here. It. You get something in here, come back, the devil's got you wired up, and in you go. Here's what you get. You're in that house. These are your parents. Da da da. Blah blah blah. That's a warden, right? That's your ward. That's who's running this prison. Is the devil. You get what you get, and you got to beat it. You got to beat it. Everyone has to beat it, and tick tock, tick tock. If you can't beat it, you can't beat it. Reset, memory wipe, start again. Good God, can you imagine? Not me, not me. Oh no. Cool Hand Luke, right? Right? Let me eat them eggs. Now, right? Just constantly, always trying to escape. That's me too. Cool Hand Luke. Same. They played that movie when I was in grade school. Cool Hand Luke. They played that movie in grade school for me. Cool Hand Luke, and I was like, "Oh, my homie, you put me in prison, tell me I'm a slave. Yeah, damn right. I'll go through the swamps, and if I have to die, well, that's better than being up here in chains. Check you later." Yeah, Cool Hand Luke. Good point, Jay. I see why. That's not my favorite movie. You want to know what my favorite movie is? Django. He he escapes and blows up the plantation. That's my movie. Good music, lot of blood and guts. All of them wickedly die like crazy up in there. They get blown to bits. It's like Cool Hand Luke, but it's not as you know, intellectual in a way, right? It's more about, yeah, we're gonna kill him. They all get blown up. Yeah, Django Unchained. DJ and DGO, I think. Django. 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 Unchained. Django Unchained. It's a one of those I forget the name of the director, but the guy who does all the blood and guts and stuff like that, the really famous one, who did like oh, I forget, like a lot of other good movies that are really well done too, but Django Unchained is my favorite movie. Oh yeah. Because the guy is a slave on a plantation and he gets out. Oh man, I'm not, if you haven't seen it, and Cool Hand Luke is your favorite movie, oh baby, are you gonna love this one? I've watched it a bunch. I haven't watched it recently, actually. Django Unchained, yes. You haven't seen that? Oh, it's so good. It's so funny. They're so horrible. You know what I'm saying? The slave owners are so heartless, so horrible. You know, the guy that did the Titanic movie, that super famous actor, he's like the head evil dude. And he's so good at it. You know what I mean? There are a lot of famous actors in it, and it's just absolutely perfectly done, I think, for me. Idiocracy, yeah. Quentin Tarantino, thank you, Rega. Yes, Quentin Tarantino, yes. So it's just super bloody and stuff, but that's what I want for them. I want to see everyone die this bloody, horrible, evil death. I look forward to it. All the men, all the women, all the children, all the babies. I want to see them just absolutely die the most gory, bloody, horrible. That's what they want from me, but they couldn't kill me. So, what you wish upon another, what you wish upon a star, then you know where you are. Well, they wish it on us, so that's what they receive. It's their wish for us that we're gonna die and all that stuff, and yet we get eternal life. We have a savior. It's real. And so they want that for us. So it's the law. It's the law of karma. Oh, you do it to others? What you did unto others is you want them to die this horrible death and suicide? Well, guess what's going to happen to you? It's the law. It's the law. I don't make the law up here. God makes the law. I try to tell people about it. Hey, you don't want to do that. I tell the cops. You don't want to be on the wrong side of Judgment Day. They're like, I'm not. Oh, glad to hear that. You're just the guy I want to see go into a lightning bolt, get turned into a rocket of dust, and be sent to hell. Yay! Best movie of the year is Ass. I don't know. I don't know about that. But it's funny you should bring that up, Jay, because if you look at Mirabama's evolution of forms, right? Gas is the first form. In other words, we come from God's fart. That's so yeah. Ass. That's what that's about. The first form up in here. Good call. I never said that one to anyone, but I know that. Don't bring it's not that we're like God's shit. We're not even yeah. Yeah. Alan, I like how you put it in your book where you said karma is the vehicle out of the dome. It can only be improved via truth and action. They have to, it can't be no wallflowers up in here. This is the dance, you see? This is the dance, and wallflowers, what? That's them. I'm just sitting in my home, tell everybody what they, just speak the hive speak and do the hive things, and everything's fine. Yeah, everything's fine until it's not fine. Under 10 years, hey, it's really not fine then. It's a Western oh my God. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch Django again. I don't even, I mean, yeah, I like Cool Hand Luke, but I don't love it. This movie is so good. Like you wanna watch them get their just desserts, like Django gives it to him in spades, baby. Love that character. Uh, you see the ice movies? No, wait, the low movie. I don't know what that is. But Quentin Tarantino has other good movies. I watch all this stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm the kind of guy that loves blood and guts because I want to see them all die reprehensible, horrible, the most wicked death possible because that's what they earned. So yeah. I'll watch Idiocracy, the movie. It's a comedy. Okay. I might have seen it, but it's been a while. Does it, I've heard of it. It doesn't quite ring a full bell, but thank you. I appreciate the tip, especially coming from a Cool Hand Luke advocate. I don't know which movie you mean though, Dee Dee. The low movies. I'm not sure what that is. That's Jack. I don't know. They got my character in here in a bunch of different places, don't they? I remember one of them disciples that left me. He come up to me one day. He's like, "Have you ever noticed everything in here is Jack this and Jack that, Jack shit, Jack jump over the candlestick, Jack that, everything's Jack." I was like, "Well, I don't know, Jack." Oh, the Leo movie, the Leo movie, the Leo movie. Oh, you watch all the Leo? Oh, that's that actor. That's the actor. That's the actor. I got you. I got you. I got you. Oh yeah, no, he plays the most evil guy in the whole movie, and he plays it so perfectly. So he's so evil, and he does it with such class and style and panache and everything. He is just the epitome of evil. It's just, yeah, Leo is, I think it's his best acting gig by miles. Oh, Mike Judge, cool. Oh, right. Idiocracy is probably very good then. I like Mike Judge's stuff, so thank you, Mike. Yeah, Mike. Yeah. Oh, the Western movie. Yeah, I thought that guy was you. Yeah, Django. Yeah, I'm like, my home. Hey, homie. Yes, exactly. That's my homie right there. That's my guy. Burning the plant. Yeah, not just burning the plantation, blowing it up. Then it's still on fire and it burns, but it's flattened as it burns. It's better if it's all flattened and then it burns. Mike don't just that. Yeah, good one. Oh. Anyway, I thought I would do a little video and Thanksgiving. Give thanks that we don't have to do this again, eh? Like, I'm trying to tell you, yeah, I could tell you what's up, but you got to do your actions. You got to bend the knee to God. You have to, we're left two pilgrimage places. God the Father is real. Jesus knelt and prayed to God, prayed to the Father, pray to God. Please, I need your help. I can't do nothing without you. I can do a little bit, but that only leads me to the information that I can't do anything without you, God. And that's where your ego dies. It takes a little death and more just gets killed. And you're finally like, I can't do anything without you, God. Like nothing. I'm incapable of a single thing without God's help. I am. I'm just incapable of anything. Take God's name all the time. I couldn't do anything right without God's help. Nothing. Zero. Never did anything right. Without God's help, we can't do anything. And that's how the ego dies. And the devil helps that process. There's nothing else going on but but the ego is a necessary component of us achieving what we've achieved up to this point. You see what I'm saying? You went through all the forms. You went through the fart form and the cloud form and all the animal forms and, the rocks and the trees and everything up in here through all the human forms. And here we are. So that ego is the one that kept you going. Like you mattered, But in the end, you see, wait a second, this is too much. I need help. Your ego dies. And then God's like, that's right. You can't do anything without my help. You didn't do this. I did it to you. And then you're like, yeah, you did. You are to blame for everything. And God's like, of course I am. And you're like, okay, well, hey, blame, dude. Get me out of here. I'll do anything you say. Get me out of here. And God's like, well, I have this list of impossible things for you to do. You're like, well, let's get started on them, shall we? Yeah, no, it's glitching in and out here. I got a lot of bars, but we got a bunch of snowflakes in town, and plus, speaking the truth, I don't like it. Another thing I sometimes I don't say this, Bob will say, the eagles are around the perfect ones. Today I saw a hawk almost was like inches from hitting me as I'm just starting off my journey. And a bald eagle fly right above me and an osprey, and I drove like 8 miles, so. All right. Anyway, I guess I'm just trying to ground you in the process here, and you know, uh, if you're getting stuff out of you health wise and things wise and relationship wise and all this stuff, it has to go. Your thoughts of everything, and this is your reality and stuff. That has to go. God has to take it away. And the only thing you left is like calling out for God. Like, I made every mistake, Yeah, I made you make every mistake. Yes, you did. But now I'm not going to make any more mistakes because I'm just going to say, get me out of here, God. Tell me how. Show me how. Well, I'll send you a guy. He's getting out of here, and see how he done it. And if you got any questions, you can ask him. But keep coming to me. That's it. All right. I see y'all got the focus, on reality now. So it's good. Stay that way. Because God is the only reality, right? All this is just this illusion that we have to play this game. It is a God level game. It's impossible. It's infinite. But it is a game. God sees it as a game, because the soul never leaves God. But we're not experiencing that, are we? We're like, ah. But then each time you go up a plane, you hit the bliss, and you're like, oh, I'm home. And then one day, we will get back all the way, and it won't be ever taken away from us. We return to non-duality, where reality is Sat, Chit, and Ananda, right? The ultimate bliss that is, there's nothing outside of it. So you could never, you're never tested where you have that consciousness. It isn't a test. You serve God, period. When you return with consciousness, and that's returning as what? To God with the consciousness. Riding with you out of here is the ultimate hitchhiking adventure. Your vehicle broke down. I would never be Dolus. you, I'm judging you that you got a little Mike judging you. That was funny, man. You got some good comedy like that guy too. Oh man. God has the best sense of humor, though. Once you get to do this, you see that there's kind of this funny aspect to things that are going on. So look for that humor in the stuff, and don't look at the hard parts. Just look for the humor and keep going. It is to win it, not to win it though. In it to win God, not in it to win the inherent it. In here it, in it to win it. Ah, I don't want to win it. I just want to win. All right, people. Hey, oh, that's true. That's true. Not too many people in here, am I right? So what does that make you? If you're going by a book, right? The Bible. What does that make you? What does the apostles do? What did they told people, right? And they got what? Not the greatest treatment. Like if you don't get whipped through the street and denied by everybody, well, maybe you're still part of the hive. Maybe you need to go back in. I'm just saying, I don't make the rules. Right? I'm an accountant. I'm like, these are the rules. Follow the rules. I don't make them though. I don't make none of the rules. Right? But you got to think, right? What do the apostles do? They don't just listen to him and sit there as a wallflower now, do they? No, they change their life, but then they see what's going on around them and they wonder, can I change someone else's life to the truth? You start with the ones you care about. Of course, they're like, man, fuck off. No, you're crazy, man. But we look for, what is it, maybe, right? We're planting seeds for how many lifetimes and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like, and so we're here to show them that we made it to the other side and we're okay. We got treated like, they know how we have to get treated, right? When we get ejected from the hive. And that's their great fear, isn't it? They get ejected from the hive, they lose this and everything. What are we here to show them? On the other side of that, it's better. I'm cool over here. That's what we're showing them. You see what I'm saying? No, I'm over here. I got the truth. And it turns out You the ones with all you all the dummies. You're the ones that want all this stuff from here, so that's you that's what you get. So that's what, ultimately, you know, you got to get treated like that. But I'm saying don't make your pilgrimage about that. Don't do that. That's for me to do. That's not for you to do. What did Mama say? Do what I say. Don't do what I did. Do what I say. Don't do what I do. Do what I say. You see? What you can't make the first trust ever that's been done in the time. You can't do that. You can do from where you are. You see what I'm saying? And that's what you need to do. Which you're doing. You're all are doing that. But I'm trying to put the framework there to show you that you're doing the right thing and just to continue to progress. But when you're on pilgrimage, it's about you and God. And anyone that wants to block you or whatever, they don't get to. I'm not even going to be on that list. Don't even say my name. I'm not going to be on a list that blocks you from God. No way. You go there, have an experience with God. Only, only, only. And your homies, your fellow people, only doing that. These people that are going, if you're only doing that, they're doing the same thing. You're helping each other, brothers and sisters. For real, for real, for real. Real ones. You're finally meet your brothers and sisters. Finally. All right. Anything else? I'm gonna fly on out of here and have some leftovers. My woman killed it yesterday. Finally, after they love to have the knock down, drag out, end of the world. Oh, so what's this? What? Oh, one more saying. One more saying. Hey, it's not the end of the world. That's one of their sayings, right? Hey, man, it's not the end of the world. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's one of their sayings. Oh, easy. It's not the end of the world. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is exactly. That's what it is. All right? It is the end of the world. All right. Oh man, JUAC Django, you're you're gonna love it. Anyway, I did. I'm gonna go watch it again. I forgot about Django for a minute. So many funny parts of that movie. All right, people, listen, you're doing great. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving weekend. I hope that you can penetrate some of the other members of your family and whatever, and that's what we're here to do as apostles of our our brother who's coming. It's our big brother who's coming, right? Jesus Christ is coming. He's our big brother. He's coming. He's coming to sort all this out. Like you got a bully up in here. He's like, and you're like, I'm calling my big brother up in here, and he's coming. And you're like, you're in trouble. That's the way I handle it. Oh, my big brother's coming. You ain't gonna like him. And if you're doing this, hey, he ain't gonna like what you're doing. I'm trying to tell you, Oh, okay. I'll tell a little story on that. I can't shut up, can I? My stepdaughter one day, she's young, and I took her and uh, her friend, uh, two young girls, and they wanted to see a movie. I was like, oh, I'll take you, So I drive them there, and I didn't go into the movie with them. You know what I mean? Like, go see your young children's movie and have a great time. And I just sat in my car. It was in Mayfair in Wilmington, North Carolina. I'm in there, so I'm out there. I got a parking spot nearby. You can't park right near the entrance, and I was like, when you come out, just text me and let me know, and you know, and I'll come scoop you up, and there we go. And she texts, she's like, I'm gonna walk over to you. Okay, walk over to this is where I am. I'm right here. Okay, and they start walking over there, and the security guard come up on him, and it's like, and they were walking like they were doing a cut through from somewhere, and he's like, you can't go that way or something like that. It starts like walking after. He's like, and she's like, yo, get away from me, creepy guy. She said something like that, and he's like, "Oh, you got a mouth like you," and starts giving her crap, and she just keeps walking with her friend, and she says to him, she tells me this afterwards. She says, you're not gonna like my stepfather. You're not gonna like him at all. And she comes up to the car, and the security guard is there. I get out of my car right away. I tell her, I was like, get in the car. To her and her friend, get in the car. She's like, I'm like, don't, just get in the car. And I'm like to this dude, I'm like, what? And I start cussing up to him, like, what the fuck are you doing? Walking behind a bunch of children. What are you doing? He's like, she's got a mouth on her. I was like, you should hear me. I said, if you don't walk away right now, buddy, I'm going to take it right to you. Walk away. He said, you can't ever come back here. I was like, hey, this ain't your place. Shut up. I get in the car. We drive out of there. I say, I'm sorry, ladies. And she says to me, I told him he wasn't going to like you very much. Yeah, he didn't like me very much. Oh, boy. Isn't the fee great? I like that one too, man. That was, yeah, heavy duty. I think so too. Very much information there. Whew. All right, people, right? We're the apostles out there. We're looking out for the innocent ones. That's who we are. It was so funny, this guy. I went around, I was like, hey, buddy, Mr. Security. I was like, listen, dude, you ever get in a car, close the window. I'm going to say some stuff you don't need to hear. She was like beside herself, laughing next to me as little one, it was like her first time to like go out and have a friend and like, don't worry, be autonomous for a minute and I'm right there and then come back. I mean, it was a very figured out place, to have a little fun time for a young one, and that's what it turned into at the end. Very funny. She knows I got her back. Worst comes to worst, she knows who to try. I remember I went to a Green Day concert one time with her. She'd never been to one. And she's in there with her mom and me and her stepbrother and my two children and stuff were in there. And she got to the edge of the thing. There were so many people as she was little. She grabs onto my leg and is like, she didn't go to her mom. She's like, get me, I carry her. She's like, okay. Like, yeah. Freaking out a minute there. Funny stuff. She had a great time, but it was quite a few people. All right, everyone, really have a good weekend, okay? I'm gonna go have some leftovers and there we go. All right. God loves you. Jesus Christ, he's coming. This whole little script we got going here is nothing more real than this. And you should be on it every minute thinking about how I can be on the right side of Judgment Day. You should really, nothing else should enter your mind, really, not ever, God's name. I just, I don't want to be one of them. I don't want to do the whole lightning bolt, turn into rock ash thing. That's going to be, bad, especially what comes after, hell. It's gonna be bad. They just don't listen, but you do. So you're gonna hit the ultimate bliss. Indescribable. No words, God is, I feel sorry for them. They're so stupid. They're like little evil children, But stay your playpen. I'm going to God. All right, everyone. Hey, listen. God bless you in the name of Jesus Christ. Watch over you and give you everything you need, okay? Have a wonderful day now.